The Vanquished. This editorial critiques the alleged political manipulation of Pakistan's judiciary following the 26th Amendment. It should be becoming more and more obvious to anyone following the judiciary's new direction that the critics of the 26th Amendment were justified in fearing that it would be abused by the government. Becoming more and more obvious means increasingly clear. Critics were justified suggests that those who oppose the amendment were right. The sentence implies that concerns about government interference in the judiciary are proving valid. Ever since its enactment, it has become progressively more difficult to rationalize the reconstituted Judicial Commission's decisions as politically neutral or objective. Ever since its enactment means from the time it was passed. Progressively more difficult means increasingly harder. Rationalize means to justify logically. This suggests that the Judicial Commission's decisions appear politically motivated rather than fair and neutral. Take the recent expansion of the Supreme Court's constitutional bench, for example. Why did the bench need to be expanded with five judges only, and why did all five have to be only those who have only recently been elevated to the Supreme Court? Take, for example, introduces a specific instance to support the argument. Elevated to the Supreme Court means newly appointed as justices. The rhetorical questions imply suspicion about the selective appointment of judges. There are no legal or moral justifications, only political ones, for why several senior, experienced judges were once again ignored during consideration. No legal or moral justifications, only political ones, is a strong assertion that suggests bias in the appointments. Once again ignored implies a recurring pattern of sidelining senior judges. Even to the layperson, it is clear that now that the judiciary has fallen to executive control, the via victis principle has been put into play. Layperson means an ordinary person with no legal expertise. Fallen to executive control implies that the judiciary is no longer independent. Via victis, Latin for woe to the vanquished, refers to the idea that the defeated must suffer the consequences imposed by the victors, suggesting that the judiciary is now being dominated by the government. Objectivity would demand that each judge appointed to the constitutional bench pass a rigorous test of merit and judgment in constitutional matters. Objectivity would demand means fairness requires. Rigorous test of merit and judgment suggests a strict and fair evaluation process. The sentence implies that judicial appointments should be based on competence rather than political loyalty. What we have seen instead is an arbitrary system of appointment dominated by like-minded individuals who feel no need to give the public any reasoning or justification for why they have made their decisions. This lack of transparency hurts judicial integrity. An arbitrary system means a process without clear rules or fairness. Like-minded individuals suggests a group selected for their shared views, possibly political. Lack of transparency means decisions are made in secrecy. The statement criticizes the appointments for damaging the credibility of the judiciary. Several judges and stakeholders had previously demanded that the constitutional bench include all Supreme Court justices, at least for the purposes of adjudicating on the question of the legality of the 26th Amendment. Stakeholders refers to those with an interest in the judiciary, such as legal experts and politicians. Adjudicating means making a legal decision. The demand for all Supreme Court justices to be involved suggests concerns over fairness in deciding the amendment's legality. This demand has been repeatedly ignored, and the recent expansion of the bench with selected judges suggests it may never be entertained. Repeatedly ignored emphasizes that concerns have been dismissed multiple times. May never be entertained means the request is unlikely to be considered. This suggests deliberate avoidance of broader judicial involvement. It is unfortunate that this path has been chosen, as it means that some important questions that concern the legitimacy of the constitutional bench itself may never be settled. Unfortunate that this path has been chosen expresses regret over the decision. Legitimacy may never be settled suggests that doubts over the fairness of the judicial bench will persist. Those who have managed to impose their will on the judiciary should realize that they have won a Pyrrhic victory. Impose their will means force their control. Pyrrhic victory refers to a victory that comes at great cost, implying that controlling the judiciary has weakened its credibility. In dismantling a pillar of the state, they have gravely hurt the legitimacy of the current regime in the public's eyes. Dismantling a pillar of the state is a metaphor meaning undermining a fundamental institution, in this case the judiciary. Legitimacy, in the public's eyes, suggests that the government's credibility is damaged. The constitutional bench is supposed to hear cases with far-reaching implications. Any impression that its judges have been cherry-picked erodes faith in its ability to adjudicate justly and sows the seeds for social divisions. Far-reaching implications means significant consequences. Cherry-picked means selectively chosen for bias. Erodes faith means weakens trust. Sows the seeds for social divisions suggests that public mistrust in the judiciary could lead to societal unrest. It is not proper or fair that certain justices are being repeatedly prevented from hearing any matter of national import just because they have vocally defended their independence. Repeatedly prevented means continuously blocked. Matter of national import refers to significant national cases. Vocally defended their independence suggests that some judges are being punished for resisting political influence. A system of justice that is publicly perceived to be skewed cannot deliver judgments that the public will accept unquestioningly as objective and just. Publicly perceived to be skewed means widely seen as biased. Cannot deliver judgments accepted as objective and just suggests that if people believe the courts are unfair, they won't trust their decisions. Without the public's trust, the apex court loses its raison d'etre. Public's trust means confidence in the judiciary. Apex court refers to the Supreme Court. Raison d'etre, French for reason for being, means justification for existence. The sentence implies that a judiciary without public trust serves no purpose. Published in Dawn, March 2, 2025.